Hi guys, welcome to Kessie's Cuisine, where we satisfy your food cravings with easy and amazing recipes. If you're new to my channel, hello, you're very much welcome. And if you're old in this channel, what's up? Thank you so much. We love you. Today we're going to be making cottage pie. This is a very interesting, flavorful, mind-blowing recipes. So just follow me along as I take you through the ingredients and we're going to just get right into the video, okay? Now for our recipes for this video, we want to make sure that you wash all your vegetables, wash your meat, and we're going to be prepping before we start cooking because immediately you start cooking everything goes so fast, okay? Now we're going to be cutting our spring onions. You can also use parsley. You can use parsley if you have that, if that's preferable. But make sure you cut everything into very tiny pieces. Like it is very important. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how I prep so that you don't do it the wrong way. Okay, we're also going to be using carrots for this recipe. I use about 3 carrots, 3 medium-sized carrots for this recipe. Now it depends on how much you are cooking, but for me, I think I had like 2 pounds from this recipe. So you're going to be using, or I used 2 carrots for this recipe, and I cut them into very tiny pieces. Okay. Now when I was done with my carrots, I you cut your onions into tiny pieces also. If you don't like seeing onion in your food, you can go ahead to blend it, or you can use onion powder. Okay, and if you also have fresh garlic, you can also cut your garlic, or you can use garlic powder, or you can just blend everything together. Okay, now I'll cut my onions into very tiny pieces. You see how tiny or how much I'm cutting that, so you want to make sure you do that. You're also going to be I also use some habanero. You're also going to be needing habanero for this recipe. And then you want to cut your potato into tiny pieces so that it will enable it roll faster, and it will enable you match your potato or rice your potato easy. Okay, so you want to cut it into very tiny pieces also, and you will set that aside. Now when I was done with that, I cut my spring onions, like the onion in the spring onions, you get. So I cut my spring onions and everything was ready to go. Now for my beef for this recipe, it was a normal beef, like not a minced meat. It was a normal beef, so I just bought that and then I blended it in my food processor. Now to start the recipe or to start the cooking proper, I bought my potato. I put my potato on fire and allowed it to boil for about until it is very soft and fork tender. Okay. Now you put an empty skillet on fire, and then you want to start your filling. I added my onion to my pot, and I allowed my onion fry properly until it was well fragrant. And to that, I am going to be adding my habanero pepper. Now every single step is important. Okay, you don't just pour everything into the pot. Every single step is important. It enhances flavor, and it's also very important to build flavor. Okay, you're going to be adding your garlic powder, and then you're going to just allow that fry properly until it is very fried, or you're satisfied with how it looks. I added my chopped carrots. If you have like the minced meat, your carrots should come before your meat. Okay, it's very aromatic. So we're going to be adding our meat. If you have minced meat, you want to make sure that in this step you stir until the meat is no longer pink. Okay, until everything is brown and you can't find any pink parts in your meat. But since my meat was already cooked, I just had to do a little bit of stirring. For my spice selection, I added some salt, I added thyme, I added rosemary, I added dry parsley, and I added a little bit of pepper again to my dish. So after that, my potato was already fork tender. It was ready for me to sieve and prepare it for to be riced or to be mashed. Okay, I added my flour. This will enable my filling to stick together, or to be, yeah, to stick together, so it's not very fluid and very scattered when I'm eating. Yeah, just enable it just holds it all together. So I'm going to be adding some soy sauce. I added about a tablespoon of soy sauce to this recipe. You're also going to be adding tin tomato. I added about one tin tomato, or yeah, one tin tomato, depending on how big or small your tin tomato is. Then you want to stir that properly. Make sure you're stirring in every single step. Everything is cooking. You're also going to be adding your meat broth at this point. If you don't have meat broth, just take a seasoning cube, a normal seasoning cube, and put it in water, and that's your meat broth. Like, just dissolve your seasoning cube in water, and that's your meat broth. Okay. We're also going to be adding some sweet corn. If you have green peas, go ahead and add your green peas. And we're also going to be adding our spring onions. Now, if you've watched to this point, and you have not subscribed to this channel, please, what are you waiting for? Please, 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 I am begging you, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Tell us what you want to see in our next video. Okay, we want to hear from you too. Tell us, what recipe do you want to see? Okay, so after that, my filling was ready. It was time for me to match my potato. You can just use a fork, or you can use a spoon, whatever you prefer. So you want to make sure that you match your potato very, very well. Make sure everything it is smooth as possible. Okay, so when I was done matching my potato was smooth, everything was ready to go. You want to add an empty pot to the fire. Yeah, you want to add some milk to your pot, and then you want to add in some amounts of butter. I also added some garlic, and I added some dry rosemary and some dry parsley to my pot. This just enhances flavor. It makes your mashed potato very flavorful. Okay, so you can see that in this recipe here, please do not add in so much spice, because you can see that we are adding butter, we're going to be adding cheese, we added meat broth. So make sure that you control the amount of spice, so you don't end up with a very salty pie. Okay, so when my milk was ready, I added it to my mashed potato, and then I added some egg yolk. The egg yolk is just going to allow the mashed potato set very well on the pie. Okay, so you want to mix that properly. The milk I added was a little bit too much, so the consistency was not as dense as I would like it to be, but it came out nice. Okay, but so if you want to do that, make sure you add you control how you add your milk. So I added some cheese to my mashed potato, and it was time for me to fill in my pan, or my baking plate. Yeah, so you want to add that your filling to your plate. Make sure your filling and your potato, they are kind of equal, so that you don't have too much potato and no filling, or too much filling and no potato. You just have to use your eyes to do the math. So I added my potato on top of my filling. Make sure you use a spoon to smoothen it all out, and make sure everything is also very covered. Okay, when I was done with that, I went ahead to add some more cheese. I went ahead to add some more spring onions. I put my cottage pie in the oven for about 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, it came out looking like this. Make sure it is brown. Don't allow it to burn. Okay, don't allow your cottage pie to burn. Make sure it is brown on top. And my cottage pie came out very nice, like Look at how bubbly it looks. Look at how the feeling, everything. This is just comfort food. This is a beauty. This came out as a very beautiful meal. So guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.